Okay, motion is there a second?
Second.
Go for please call roll.
Burgess. Here. Jones.
Here.
Myers. Case. Washington.
Here.
Williams. Yes.
All right, we move to item number 4, public comment. All questions or comments was directed to the mayor. Each speaker will be given 3 minutes to comment. Each speaker will be allowed 1 opportunity to speak. Clerk, please state your name for the record.
Bernice Brewer. I'm coming back to ask the same question that I've been asking for the last 6 months. You indicated that $825,000, the Illinois EPA loan was going to reduce by $825,000, yet the supporting documents haven't been on the website, so I'd like to know why we as the public can't get a copy of it. Again, the second item that you talked about is that you said the residents were charged $10.50 for water-related items in response to a query request. They said they had no documents, so I also would like a copy of that document, which you haven't given us. The third item I want to talk about is that the leak survey was completed back in February of 2013, and we found that we had 16 leaks. 13 out of the 16 haven't been repaired or even just looked at. So now we on to this thing with the repair, replacing the sewer lines in case we have problems. Yet I want to know what is the plan, or have the plans been devised to address this issue since the leak survey wasn't issued. I want to know why we're wasting all this money and we're not going to do anything. That's it.
All right, on the IEP loan,
Yes.
we have, what I stated was true. They reduced the loan amount, so there, the $10 rate, went back and did a little bit of checking on that. It was only for a short period of time, because what ended up happening was the rate went up. I think it was only for like 2 weeks. And then the rate went right back down because of the outcall from the village residents. So there was a portion of time where it just went up for a couple weeks, and it was brought right back down. So it came back to the board. So that's where we're at on that, because and the leak survey, I'll follow up and find out where they're at on that. All right.
I'm asking for
Next.
copies of it.
Okay.
Copies of everything you said. I want copies of it.
Okay, you can ask. All right. Next.
I'm sorry, what?
You can ask. Okay.
I've asked.
So,
We've been asking for 9 months. You can't come up with copies of these things?
right.
You said it's true?
It ain't true.
So,
All right. Yeah, right. Okay.
Mary Stewart, Sauk Village. I hope you all had a pleasant time in the executive session. It seems like all the happy faces are here. No? No? Let me finish. I got my 3 minutes. You can't take that away from me. You may. I heard you. But at the same time, there's nothing right in Sauk Village, I see. Crime is down, says our police chief. That's the saying only. But it's up in Sauk Village, and there's no working that out in Sauk Village with our police department. That he leaves up to how the board goes. And then we got people that order peanuts. They're not even peanuts. But the good thing is, time is ticking every day. Every day your days are ticking. Tick, tick, tick. And guess what? The board is divided just like your audience. Who's going to win the division? Because somebody's going to go, where the money? And one people already know where the money is. Other people act like they don't care. I don't get peanuts. I'm listening. Where the money? Account receivable, accounts payable, transparency. Where the money at? Was that executive session fair? Huh? I've been listening at the walls. That's how ridiculous things are in Sauk Village. You know things aren't right, yet you keep voting like you won't make a difference. No, I do that. I love that. I love this because point blank, people need to investigate this little raggedy town. Because point blank, it's shown People got new stuff. Bankruptcies are running rampant. People are having money that's not theirs. Money is being taken that's not theirs. And nobody has an account of it. They doing paperwork, paper shuffle, and getting paid big money for it. For shuffling papers. I'm appalled at this. You know, and yet the peanuts are speaking out. They're still stupid. And that's all they are, just stupid peanuts. That's all they can do is peanut in the audience. Because they ain't going to do nothing else. They ought to play dead. But that's what they're good for. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Judy Cast here. On the accounts payable, on page 4, you have TRF Environmental for asbestos sampling and analysis for a total of $270. That's for the police department. And on page 5, you have the TRF Environmental asbestos sampling and analysis for Parks and Recs for a total of over $5,000. I'd like to know if the sampling and analysis in 2 different places, why the jump in the price from $270 to $55.80. I don't understand that at all. I also don't see anything at all on here about the mold. And I did ask last week, and you were not here, Mayor, that I waited a while to say anything because I did contact the health department and I did contact EEOC. And they told me that they would be contacting the village hall and making some arrangements to have things checked out. I'd like to know what's happened, what's the next step. If I can't get an answer, that's all right, because I'm going to call them back. And I will get an answer one way or another. Secondly, I'd like to know why we have this meeting tonight and we don't have our finance person here, we don't have Sherry here, we don't have a lawyer here. Where's the reports that these people have or should have, and why aren't we getting them? Also, I've asked before, and I don't get an answer, but I'll ask again. We got accounts payable. Why can't we get a accounts receivable report? So we know what's coming into the village and exactly how you're delving it out. That's it.
Okay. All right, the mold report you gave about a month ago. So you talked about how they came in and checked the mold.
As far as the mold report, remediator came in, did an air quality check, and I could provide that to you. The air quality in the police department was fine. We have to get and hire an environmentalist. That's the step we're at now, so that they can go and check whatever mold and mildew and whatever else there is. So that's the next step. They're in the process of getting that. That individual who they're going to hire through Robinson Construction will be coming to one of the committee meetings and making a presentation. So we're all at, we're at it.
And then on the asbestos, all they did was came through and did an air quality or?
No, that was just for the mold. As far as the
Okay.
asbestos would have been involved in that too, but as far as the asbestos, they just tried to determine where there was asbestos. And I would have to refer to Kevin Miller on that. He had a report on that.
All right. And then for the Parks and Recs, the reason it's so high, because wasn't that part of the getting the permits and stuff to have everything removed and,
Yes.
okay. So we had to get Cook County permits to have asbestos moved. There's a special permitting you have to get in Cook County, so that's getting those permits and everything to get that removed. So that's the reason why it's so high on Parks and Recs, is because we're having work done in that building to get it done. All right? The reports, the accounts payables and so, great. I would say something to Mohan again about accounts receivables. Right?
Mary Clark. I just have two quick questions. How much is owed on the aging report? And how do we go about obtaining a copy of the collector's report?
Age report, I couldn't tell you what's on there right now. I don't have it in front of me tonight. And on the collector's report, I give the reports as in fact, I got one tonight. I'll give them for April. So, and I think the collector's reports, is that put online? The collector's reports are on the village website.
So those are never printed and put on the back table?
No. All right, but they can be printed off the village website. All right, if you have anything else, come up. Don't shut that gentleman, come and stay out there.
When we come to the board meeting, we would like to see you guys have a board meeting, not go behind there from 7 o'clock until 5 minutes after 8. It needs to stop. When things like that get, you guys should meet one day during the week and straighten out all your arguments and have all that stuff ready when you come in. Watch you coming from back there looking like that, it just doesn't fit right with me. I don't know about nobody else, but it doesn't fit right with me. If there is a problem, why can't you guys make all this stuff arranged before you get here on Tuesday night, especially on a night like this? I don't know about nobody else, but I want to see you take care of the business that is the business at hand and leave this argument alone and do it when your personal time. Not on my time when I'm coming to this meeting. Thank you.
I usually always try to have executive sessions at the end of the meeting, but tonight's was at the request of Trustee Burgess. The reason it was at the very beginning. So, all right, anyone else? All right, so no one else. Move to reports, departments, committees, and commissions. Fire Chief Self-Raven, Fire Department 911 Commission.
Okay. Over the past 3 weeks, the fire department responded to 68 calls. 12 vehicle accidents, 22 fire alarms, 22 medical assists, 3 brush fires, 3 assists to other towns, 2 structure fires, 1 stove fire, 1 electrical problem, 4 COs, and 1 car fire. Mayor and board, be advised that after training with the water department and public works on the proper way to do hydrant flushing, the fire department finished checking Deer Creek and Lincoln Meadows hydrants for a total of 31 hydrants checked. By the order of Mayor and J.W. Fairman, the fire station was declared a cooling station, and it was manned from 6 p.m. Wednesday evening through Sunday midnight. Also, for National Night Out, this is a couple of the highlights that haven't really been finalized yet. I'll get with the clerk on that we are planning to burn a shed, and to go along with that is working on getting some free smoke detectors. How many I will be able to get is anybody's guess, but if I get them, they will be passed out along with the literature on National Night Out. And that is my report.
Thank you. Move to Police Department, Chief Kowalski.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, trustees. For the period between July 1st and July 26th, the police department received 1,002 calls for service. During that period, there were 39 arrests. A couple of cases of note: on July 1st, officers received a call from a battery victim explaining she had been battered and threatened with a knife by her husband. Officers located the offender and placed him under arrest. On 7/13, officers were dispatched to the Southside address to take a battery report. Officers were met by the victims who said they had been attacked by a large group of subjects the previous day. One of the victims said they received information that the attack was posted on social media. Officers viewed the video and had the subjects identified and made arrests. On July 20th, officers were dispatched to the 21700 block of Peterson for domestic dispute call. The victim explained the offender had physically grabbed her and choked her. The offender had left the area prior to the officer's arrival, but then returned. After seeing the officers, he ran and was eventually arrested. The squad cars on the side of the police station are being decommissioned by Minor Electronics in preparation for salvage and auction. There's 3 more vehicles that need to be done before they can be sold. We'll be asking for a resolution once all the work is done on those vehicles. Training. Our officers will be taking a training course in September offered by Sertoma Community Mental Health and Counseling Center on mental health first aid for public safety. This is an 8-hour course that provides officers with more response options to help them de-escalate incidents and better understand mental illnesses in order to respond to mental health related calls appropriately without compromising their safety or the safety of the individual. Tomorrow is July 27th, and it is Illinois Speed Awareness Day. The Sauk Village Police Department is taking a proactive approach to promote safety for motorists, pedestrians, and cyclists through both education and enforcement. In Illinois, during 2014, speed was the reason for 32.4% of all traffic fatalities. That's 348 deaths for the year, or 1 life for every 25 hours. These lives can be easily saved by being aware of our speed and understanding how speeding impacts a crash. Let's all do our part by taking a proactive approach to prevent fatalities and reduce injuries on the roadways by being aware of our speed and obeying the speed limit signs at all times. If you'd like more information about Illinois Speed Awareness, please visit www.illinoisspeedawarenessday.org. On July 21st, I drafted a letter and provided it to the Cook County State's Attorney's Office to consider opening an investigation in the mishandling of expungement police records. Prior to my appointment, which we found that there were records that should have been destroyed via court order known as expungement, but those records were provided to the public. That's a violation of court order and jurisdiction of the State's Attorney's Office. The investigative branch of that office has indicated they'd be interested in that matter. Lastly, I received a letter of thanks from a citizen for our records department, which read, "I wanted to take a moment to say thank you to Nikki and Brooke in your office. They were patient, polite, and helpful in guiding me with a ticket that was actually from code enforcement. Rather than just directing me to someone else, they took a couple of minutes to explain who and how. I know how easy it is to complain about government and police departments, especially so. Let me encourage your department and staff and continue to be a pleasure to work with. Thank you, Brian Buter." That's the end of my report.
Thank you. Move to reports of officers, the mayor's report. Can I ask for a motion to approve Alan Vavrick as Director of Homeland Security? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, vote clerk, please call roll.
Burgess.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Tate.
Yes.
Washington.
No.
Williams. Yes.
Motion carries. All right. Alan, what have you come up and the old getting swearing in and getting sworn at, right? Of course, you probably got a lot of swearing at since you've been on the department for quite a few years.
the Constitution
the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States,
the Constitution
the Constitution
of the State of Illinois,
of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully
the
discharge
duties of
the duties
the
of
office of
office of
Homeland
Homeland
Security
Security
according to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Yeah. All right, I'd like to welcome you aboard. Thank you very much. I want to let everyone know that Al has really stepped up to the plate. He has served as acting director for about approximately the last month. And he's been out there on the streets. I've gone by calls and seen him out there. And he was very instrumental in making sure that we had the proper coverage, working along with the police department on the parade on, I think it was, what, July 2nd or 3rd. So I appreciate all the work that you've done. And I know he's got some great ideas coming up and getting the department back up to staff. And I think you have a report that you're going to send out to the trustees that you would have gave tonight. But, all right, so thank you very much. All right, next we have collector's report for April 2016. Property taxes, there's $230.27. Other taxes, $237,137.81. Licensing and permits was $43,964.59. Fees and services are $175,498.13. Grants, $22,304. Zero transfers, miscellaneous, $36,289.32 for total revenues for the month of April of $515,464.52. That's collector's reports for April of 2016. And that said, we'll move to the village clerk. Ms. Debbie Reyes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There will be no board meeting on next Tuesday. That is National Night Out, so we will not be meeting as a board, but we will have National Night Out behind the Village Hall between 5 and 9 p.m. This is something that we've been doing for the last several years, and we work well with the fire department, police department, as a department. Every department, every committee, every resident who would like to set up a table, if you have something you'd like to pass out to the residents, if you're a vendor you'd like to set up, all that I ask is that you call me and I'll be more than happy to make sure there's space for you to set up. And I encourage everybody to come out there and encourage people to sign up for your committees. We've got a lot going on in the village, so it's good to know that if we do approach new residents that come out and want to meet their elected officials and be a part of the village, it'd be nice if you could be there to greet them and encourage them to be a part of what we do. And second of all, there was a vote last week that was taken during the special meeting. As the Open Meetings Act officer, I was kind of going to agree with what Trustee Tate said as far as one of the motions not being valid, because we've had that problem before where the trustees in the middle of a special meeting have changed things around, added things, and special meetings you're supposed to stick to the agenda. It has to stay to the agenda. However, in the case of last week's meeting, we did stay to the agenda. The motion was a total motion for two different payables, and we separated the motions. Separating the motions that are already on the agenda is still proper. So the fact that we voted on that accounts payable, it did pass at that time. It was questioned as to whether or not that was a legal motion and if it was actually passed. So the next day I did talk to the attorney and he said that was fine. So just to reiterate, when we have a special meeting agenda, we have to stick to the topic, whether it's the trustees discussing it, whether the vote, or whether the conversation comments from the audience. It has to stick to the special meeting agenda. So in that case, that motion last week that was made did pass. Another thing that was brought to my attention, several people have been questioning as far as the decorum and lack of decorum at the board meetings, at the dais and in the audience. Part of the problem is somebody told me that they were unclear as to whether or not somebody gave up the floor at a particular time, or what is the case, or how does it happen. Well, it just so happens we're all going to be going to IMO in a couple of months. That's another thing I'm going to talk about in a minute. And this is where we learn how to debate and what type of motions are supposed to happen and what we're supposed to do when we're up here. I took the ordinance number 16005, section 2.77, rules and regulations concerning motions and questions. Limitation on debate. No member without the consent of the board or presiding officer shall speak more than once on the same subject until every member desiring to speak has spoken. No member shall speak more than twice on the same subject. No member shall speak longer than 5 minutes at any time except by the consent of the board. Conduct of members during debate. While a member is speaking, no member shall hold private discourse. I think it's important that we all recognize and respect our ordinance that's in place. And I think it should also mean that while the members are speaking and trying to debate their motions, if the audience could please also respect that private discourse. It does kind of disrupt the meeting, and it kind of takes the trustees away from the business at hand. So if anybody would like a copy of this, it is on the website, but I also would be happy to provide it for you. And as far as the IMO, I have put a hotel registration. I made reservations for everybody. If you're not going to go, let me know. I just made the reservations in advance because the rooms go quickly. It's easier to cancel a reservation than it is to make one. And there's also a registration form. All trustees must fill that out and give it to me as soon as possible so that we can get that paid on the accounts payable as soon as possible. The IMO is September 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. If anybody has any questions about the IMO registration or hotel, please see me. I'll be happy to help you. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. That's all I have.
Thank you. Go to Village Administrator, Director of Public Safety, Jacob E. Fairman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Board of Trustees and Madam Clerk. My report goes as follows. Vacant housing, we had a vacant master list, shows presently $411, that's substantially down. That breaks down into 392 houses that are vacant in Sauk Village, as well as vacant occupied housing, we had 19. That's down from 88 at my last report. So the staff, police department, and the code enforcement have been working pretty hard to resolve that issue, as well as public works. Scavenger contract update. As I stated in the previous board meeting, we Sauk Village failed to execute the terms of this contractual agreement with the public scavenger service. It's fair to execute those terms and adjustments of annual rate increase in failure to provide accurate housing counts, resulting in non-payment of services to the vendor for $422,424. Months ago, we found out that these deficiencies, and made the necessary corrections. I've also been meeting with the vendor in an attempt to bring this matter to a fair and equitable solution for both parties. After considerable negotiations to avoid a cutoff of service, the vendor has agreed to forgive the village of the full debt in exchange for a new 10-year contract that would provide exact language spelling out each party's obligation. The vendor has asked to appear before the board August 16 committee of the whole, to present the terms of its new contract. Miscellaneous. Staff, we have completed some necessary paperwork for Cook County for no-cast bid application for 3 land parcels in Tiffin 4. The petition for a tax deed will be filed by the end of June. It is expected that this matter will be resolved in the favor of the village in January of 2017, according to our attorneys. The other issue is the only group that I talked to the board and the mayor before has completed the employee's handbook and is in the final stage of completing the Sauk Village personnel manual. A presentation will be made to the board in mid-September, at least the committee of the whole report. Mr. Mayor and the board of trustees, that completes my report.
Thanks, Mayor.
Trustee.
Mr. Fairman, when you said reimbursement, is that the money that they claim that we owe them for, that they owe us for, homes that are vacant? Is that what you're talking about?
This is what they, we asked them to count all, go back and count this, and this is the number they gave up with. We would have to do this is the number they gave us, and based on what we checked, it appeared to be clear. Obviously, it's not great because, you know, all of the issues, but it's in that range of $400-some thousand. And you know the representative there, I won't call his name for obvious reason, but he has said, you know, he's not really trying to, he wants to forgive the village. I think he's representing the village. He's probably going to talk to the board and some trustees individually also about the matter. But he want to bring it up so it's specific and you don't have the situation going forward.
So he's willing to forgive close to whatever, 400,000. And is he asking for, or did he say he's asking for a raise for rates?
You know, I have not received a completed, he's going to submit me a completed report or proposal that I will bring to the board. So as I understand it, there may be rate increase somewhat, but I don't know if that's true. I have to see it. So I don't want to speculate about that.
Okay, because correct me if I'm wrong, didn't we just get an increase for Republic, like $3 a month or something like that?
I think we did, but, you know, if you go back, Trustee Burton, this is in the abyss, you know, going back to when, you know, all this period of time that they have not, you know, according to them, they have been billing us for a certain amount of money. What we have been doing is actually paying them based on the amount of money we got from the water account. So I'm sure that, you know, the meshing of the issue was such, I want to say foggy, that that's why he decided to try to, you know, forget about this, and let's go ahead and try to get a fair and equitable contract.
Okay, because, I mean, the reason I'm asking, he's looking to, the contract is up when, the existing contract is up when?
I think it's already up. I think. But no, you're right. I know it's a 10-year. I can't tell you the date when it started. You're right. I can't.
So now he's asking to redo that one for another 10 years. And the question I was asking, I thought a month ago that we just got a raise, they just raised the garbage rates. I think $3 per month or something. $1.50 per month, $3.
I think you're right. Okay.
And that was just done maybe about a month or so ago. So I'm just.
You know, the representative want to talk to you guys.
Okay.
He's going to lay everything out. You know, I don't want to go and sour the issue.
No, I'm just asking, did you recall? Do you recall that?
Yeah, we did get
Okay.
a rate. We did. But, you know, the issue we're talking about is, you know, from back, you know,
Yeah,
going
well,
back.
I know what the forgiveness is from.
Okay.
It's from where the discrepancy from the houses that they actually service versus the house in town, no one is there, but they still picked up, but they're charging us for that piece.
The only part that needs to be added to that, we had certain contractual raises going for years.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Move to reports of trustees and board committees, senior committee, beautification committee. That's me. So, senior committee, just to make sure everyone's aware, especially seniors, there's a fraud alert. Scams can happen to anyone. If you're on Medicare, you are a target for scammers. Remember that Medicare never calls you for personal information. They already have it. Scammers play on emotions, including the love of your cats and dogs. If you are scammed, do not be embarrassed. Report what happened. Call Illinois SMP. It's the Senior Medical Patrol. At Age Options, that's at 1-800-699-9043. Next, the Senior Committee opens senior activities. It's on Fridays from 12:30 to 3. The coordinators are Steve Shumkis and Frank Williams. There's no meetings, no membership, no dues. Just come and join fun for your peers. Light refreshments and bottled water is served. The Rummy Cube game, title game similar to the Rummy Card, is very addictive. Other games are available, plus computer, TV, and the library program. Watch for detailed flyers on monthly Saturday open senior activities with potluck meal. Let's see, the Bloom Township Annual Senior Picnic is on Thursday, August 4th this year at Veterans Memorial Park, and that's located over in Linwood. It's from 10 to 3 p.m. Tickets are $4, and they're only on sale at the Township office. No tickets will be sold the day of the picnic. Free transportation to the picnic for Township seniors only. Call Bloom Township Senior Wheels at 708-754-8200. Lastly, the Sauk Bluegrass resumes this Sunday from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. And for vacations on Saturday, and remember they're going to be on vacation on the Sundays of July 17th and 24th, so they're back from vacation this Sunday. So that's for the senior committee. For the beautification committee, beautification committee will soon tour our village in search of Hootsie Award candidates, which will be awarded in August. The committee meets on the third Wednesday of each month at 10 a.m. And as always, they're looking for volunteers and or committee members and welcome those that wish to join in the goal of to add, maintain beautiful images to view. If interested, you can join the committee at the regular meeting, or you can contact them at their website, which is svbeautification@svillage.org. That concludes the report for the Beautification Committee. All right, move to item B, Parks and Restoration Committee, Trustee Jones.
This Saturday, starting at 11 to 3, will be open gym. That's this Saturday, the 30th. And August 4th is the committee meeting, starting at 7 o'clock in the community center. That's all I have.
Thank you, Trustee. To Public Works, Trustee Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, I see that the Public Works Director is not here, so I was going to ask him some questions about some of the items that we discussed, so I'll have to get with him at his office. I don't like to, and I was also told to not to take someone out of their working environment. So I thought he was going to be here today to ask some of these questions that the people that came to my Public Works Department wanted some answers. But if you would like to, Mr. Fairman, I can kind of go down, and if you want to pass it along, if not, I'll have to try to find out. But there were some items that were asked, and I couldn't answer. The driveway behind Titlemax, who owns that particular driveway? Is that village owned, or is that owned by the investor that owns that property there? But that's going south of Titlemax, that apron or whatever you want to call it, come leading into Torrance Avenue. I couldn't answer that. And then there were some complaints about Carlisle Estate as far as the sewer lines. I know that we do take control of them, but there's a couple that have a dip in it, and they're not draining properly, so those are some of the other calls. And also, Police Chief, 311, is that the non-emergency number? What is a non-emergency number? If someone wants to call, but don't want to call 911, but they just want to call the police to get them to come over, do they have to dial 911, or is there another number they can dial?
758-1331.
So they have to dial that. There's no, okay, so 911 would be, that would, but what about off hours? Does it, are we reversed to Calcom? Okay. All right. And there's Frank Wagner Street. They wanted to, some people asked about that. I guess they live in Carlisle and asked about putting a skim coat, or is there a schedule for a skim coat on Frank Wagner Street leading into Carlisle Estates? Could that, is that on the budget, or does that have to go for motor fuel tax or CDBG grant money? And then the other ones out, and I can ask Kevin, but those are the ones that people really wanted to find out, because I couldn't answer those questions.
Well, Trustee Burgess, I'll take it, but I mean, we can set up a meeting where he can come and meet you.
Okay, well, that'll probably be better if you can set up, I'll do it that way. I'll schedule it through you, find out when he can meet. All you have to do is give me a call, email, text, or whatever. So,
You pick the date, and if he's here, you got it.
Okay, then I'll do that. Okay. And last but not least, I just wanted to bring this up. The reason that we have executive session is to take care of business. there's no such thing as, you go back to argue, people agree to disagree. That's called constructive criticism. But to say that we're back there arguing, fussing, or whatever the case may be, that's when you have to take care of you have an executive session, so you do not talk about personnel or someone that works in the village, personal business. That's the reason for an executive session. Money is always discussed out here. But to say that we're taking care of business every Tuesday, it may be one thing or another, but this is where we're supposed to meet. To have a meeting somewhere else would be just like having another board meeting. So we cannot just meet arbitrarily without posting it, having an agenda, and someone taking minutes. Now it's considered a regular meeting. So we try to do it when we have our meetings that we're already here for. An executive session is used primary to discuss business in the back, especially for personnel or real estate. With that, that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee. Move to Housing and Governmental Committee, Trustee Tate.
Thank you. Thank you. Works, I guess. We met on, first of all, the first thing was the IGRC Community Partnership Team, and we met on 13 July, and we met at the fire station. And what we did was finalize some of the plans to support the corn and dog roast, which will be held on 17th of September. And we decided that we would not do the bike rodeo, which we had been planning to do, because it takes up a lot of space to do the bike rodeo and having evaluators out there for the children. So we're not going to do the bike rodeo. However, we're still waiting and going to try to do bike registration during the corn and dog roast. We also put on hold the ID card for the children, ID cards for the children, the fingerprinting, and that type of activity. We get more input. And a couple of people that are trying to get background information on what we need to do with regards to those two topics. The other thing was we discussed having a recognition ceremony, and that's to recognize Sauk Village young people who have now gone on to college or found great jobs doing something after high school. And we recognize them as being former or present Sauk Village residents, saying that we appreciate them staying on the right track, accomplishing whatever their goals were. We just felt that the village should do some kind of recognition for that. And we talked about having it during an off meeting, not when we're having a board meeting or Ways and Committee meeting. Just have a night set aside where we're going to ask the young people to come in if they're in town, or their family members can come in and be recognized for them being Sauk Village residents that are doing great things with their lives after leaving Sauk Village. So that was a discussion. We'll have to get more information on that and how we want the village to weigh in on that. We discussed the homework lab at the library. That's still going on. The summer reading programs at the library are still going on. They have low participation. So if you have children or young people that need homework assistance, there are qualified people at the library to help them do their homework and learn, I guess. But also the summer reading programs are there. One other thing, I realized there was a job fair that was held recently, and I think it was held at the community center. We discussed that and trying to enhance that program. So that's a topic for discussion that the board's going to address. Now I would like to get board approval on a couple of things that we talked about. They're going to start doing, the committee's going to start doing tours of some of the businesses in Sauk Village that they can tour to show the young people potential job opportunity, that type of thing. But they also would like to have a tour of the municipality, this building, the community center, and the senior center to show the buildings from the inside of the buildings and how people are working in those buildings and what the buildings are designed for And that's something this board would have to approve. And I would like to have that approval as soon as possible so I can report back to the partnership team of whether or not those things can occur. One major activity that we discussed is having someone in the municipality take on the responsibility of community services. And that's the program that the Bloom Trail has, where their seniors must perform community service in the community as a graduation requirement. So the committee wanted to know if the village could have someone appointed that can interact with Bloom Trail to find out what we need to do to become part of the program, so that students will have the village as an option to do their community service to fulfill their graduation requirements. And that's something to get some input or feedback from the board if you think the village should be involved in doing that or not. That's simply a question that's out there. Our housing and IGRC committee met on the 28th of July. And we, just on the housing portion of it, Trustee Burgess and I have worked on revising the manual that residents receive when they move into Sauk Village. And it's merely updating it. There are a lot of things that are outdated in it. And I have copies that I want to give to the board members, and I'd like you to review it, get your input, and for the next committee meeting, we can have this on the agenda to discuss so we can finally approve it and bring it back to this board for its approval. But it's revising. You may have seen something like this once upon a time. This is given out at the front counter when you move into Sauk Village. And it lists all the emergency contacts. It talks about the committees. It talks about the businesses, the churches, etc. So it's a valuable document for if you're just moving into a community. And we just been working to revise it. As I said, once the board gets a chance to look at this and give us your input, we'll do a final document that's going to be disseminated and be available for the village residents. And I would like you to review this between now and the next committee meeting and come back with your input and your suggestions. Trustee Burgess, I don't have one for you because you have one for when we've been working on it. I have it too for Trustee Williams and, Trustee Washington and Trustee Jones. I have your copies here. I don't want to reach over everybody. I'll give it to you. Trustee Williams and Trustee Myers, these are yours. Take time and look at it. And if you think something needs to be revised or updated, be prepared to present that to us at the next meeting so we can get that done. That's on the housing portion of it. The IGRC portion of it is that we're working with some communities now to find out the good things that they're doing that Sauk Village could probably benefit from. Some may not be possible depending on the community. But we're still working on that. We think there are things that other communities are doing that I find that in talking to them and meeting with them, I found that some of them are beneficial. And I think would really help Sauk Village to the residents particularly to benefit from some of the programs they have in place and some of the things they're doing that's on a positive note. And why we're not doing it is not even up for discussion. That's not important why we are not doing it. The question is, let's identify those things and find a way to do them and benefit for the benefit of the Sauk Village residents. So we're still working on that portion of it. It's going to take a while. We have about 6 more communities that we have to meet with and talk to them. And we're talking to the people that work in these communities. We're talking to the directors and that type of thing. And I've even spoken with some trustees to get some perspective on some things that we should be trying to do to better Sauk Village from that perspective. So look forward, you start hearing bits and pieces of those things. The IGRC people that we have are working really hard. They're making a lot of phone calls. They're getting a little frustrated because some communities don't want to share information. But they're sticking to it. And we have Judy Cass, who's in the audience tonight, who's really been instrumental in trying to get this thing going for us. I think at the end result, at the end of the day, you're going to see some positive things that come out of this activity. And I think the Sauk Village residents, some of them will be pleased. And those who are not pleased, we'll keep working to try to find a way to please you. The next meeting for the partnership team will be on the 10th of August at 3 p.m. It's an open meeting, so you can come and listen and hear what everyone has to say. And unless there's some objections from the board, we're going to meet here. We move it around. We started at District 168, which is the fire station. We're not going to go to the police station, Chief, so don't get worried. Well, if you can take care of the mold and the vessels over there, we'll be over there. But until you take care of those two things, I don't think we're going to visit you. But the next meeting is the 10th of August. Please come out. It's at 3 p.m. And you get a chance to hear from the team members of all the three taxing bodies and their ideas about how to better Sauk Village. That's all I have.
Thank you, Trustee.
I have a couple questions. The recognition that you guys are talking about, is that something, and you guys may not, I know you're not ready for this like that, but is that something that people can nominate people for? And if so, what's the process?
Right now, we're getting all of our nominations from Bloom Township. And so it's being funneled through them because for some reason they keep contact with students that they progress on. And when they get jobs, I don't know how they do it, they keep contact. So we're only taking input from them at the present time.
Okay.
But we can, I can definitely bring it up and open it up to anyone making a nomination for recognition.
Okay, and then you talked about the tours that are happening and that you wanted a vote from the board. And I know that you said you were talking about, you wanted us to come back with any recommendations or anything about this book, but are you planning on being on the agenda for the next committee meeting in 3 weeks to discuss it?
I hope we are. I'm asking that I be placed on the agenda so that we can discuss the handbook handout and that everyone provides their input so we can have one consolidated document.
Okay. And is that what you want the consent for the, because you wouldn't do it for the vote at the meeting, but the consensus for the tour?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And who's going to be responsible? Because there has to be someone here that's going to be responsible and get them into the senior center, get them here, and stay with them as they go on the tour.
Okay, is that something that, is it like a one-day thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
We do not, and we played with numbers before because there have been tours throughout different businesses in Sauk Village, and we don't think we need to stretch it out for 5 days or anything like that. We think we can do it all in one day, but it may be a full day depending on how many students are interested in the tour. And we won't know that until we start signing them up, then I can come back and say, well, we have 50 children or young people that want to tour, and we could just take it from there.
Okay. And then lastly, the volunteers. I know that we have had a couple people throughout the years coming to volunteer for different things, for Girl Scouts, or Boy Scouts, things like that. And I know generally it goes through the village clerk's office, but I didn't know if that's something that you're going to present to when you're on the community agenda to see. I didn't even know Blue Trail did that when you required community service for graduation now. So is that something that you're going to present at that time too?
I don't want to, I'm going to talk about it, but I don't want to discuss the details of how to actually do it. I would rather for whoever's nominated in the village to make contact with Bloom Trail and have a one-on-one discussion where they can get a full understanding. I just know that Bloom Trail requires them to have community service as part of the graduation requirement.
Okay, thank you.
You said 2 questions. All right, that's all I have.
Move to Public Safety Ordinance Review Committee, Trustee Myers.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple of things. First of all, we have a meeting at 9 a.m. Meet with my co-chairman for the Safety and Ordinance Review Committee. And after that, I'll schedule a separate meeting for the subcommittee for the ordinance review. And then I will read at the end I will read all the letters that make it real quick for you. And then the second item, we did have the cooling center open, and on those hot evenings, we did have 1 or 2 people stop in and visit us. However, we did have a whole bunch of people coming in the parking lot and said we've been Pokemon, whatever that may mean, but I guess the fire station is a Pokemon place, whatever. Just that, remember, we don't care if it comes, but be careful. There is emergency equipment rolling in and out of that station. Just to be very careful. Yeah, I think the police department is on that list too. Yeah, that was nights out, Kevin, we're going to go ahead and construct that small building out there. We're going to light it up. We're going to show people how quick the smoke detectors and everything can alert someone and how important it should be to have one. So that is on plan for out there that night. The last thing is, in August, I've been meeting with the apartment management folks for Crossroads and Jeffrey Apartments. We used to, many years ago, walk through and make sure each apartment had a fire extinguisher, smoke detector, a single detector, and the chief wants us also to take a look at the balconies on the some of these, because some of the balcony people are having barbecues on it, and they're starting to look pretty unsafe. So we'll take a look at those. That's going to happen in August and September. And with that, that's all I have. I do have one question for the chief, though. Is it possible that you could get the report that you're going to give Ms. Cass on the mold and asbestos? Could you make sure that all the trustees get that too, sir?
I will give it to the clerk, and she did e-blast it.
Thank you, sir. That's all I have.
All right. You see, you mentioned Pokemon, or Pokemon. Now, this fire department, I think the police department is a spot, I think the village hall is a spot, and I saw someone walking out in the park with their phone trying to find a spot out in the park, so we're pretty well covered, I think. So, all right, move to Neighborhood Watch Committee, Trustee Washington.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a few things. First of all, I want to say I've never seen no department heads at these meetings before. It looks a little strange not to see anybody here to ask any questions to, but nevertheless, I guess we can direct any questions that we have for them to you, Mr. Fairman. So to not prolong the time tonight, I'll just talk to you about it later, some questions that I have with some department heads. Also, I wanted to let the chief know that I talked to one of my block club captains over on Brookwood North on 223rd Street, and they say on that block it's been somebody breaking their cars all the way down, not stealing the cars and not really stealing nothing, but it looked like they're looking for money because everything is on the seat, but the radio is not vandalized. I was over there today talking with neighbors in that area, and they wanted me to let you know that somebody's been breaking in the cars just on that one little strip, and I'll give you more details later. Also, I wanted to thank my co-chair, Trustee Myers, for going out and purchasing some vests for us for the last 2 Fridays. We have not been able to tag for our back-to-school book bags because we were not able to locate the vests. Every place where we were told the vests were going to be, they were not there, so we had our people in place. Our block club captains ready to go out, but there were no vests for us to be out there. So I want to thank my co-chair for going out and purchasing vests. I know we probably got to pay you back.
Trustee Washington, you want to thank the new director of the Homeland Security. He was the one who finally went out and picked up the vest.
Okay, well, you called me on the phone and you told me you got them. So, thank you.
They do have them, Mr. Secretary.
Okay, I'm going by what I hear. Okay, also, I want to say a big thank you to all of those that's been actually dropping off supplies here at the Village Hall. You know who you are. Thank you on behalf of the children. We have approximately 2.5 weeks before School District 168 have their back to school bash. That's a very big event that they do. And Neighborhood Watch is going to be doing that back to school book bag drive in conjunction with them there at Rick Over, giving out 500 book bags with supplies. So a big thank you to all of those that have been dropping off supplies and for all those that are pending. And as you know, we always have a program, like a little short rally or a talk. And all of those people that do sponsor and help to get those book bags, we put your name on our sponsorship list. So those that are going to be sponsoring and have been sponsoring, we want to thank you again. And your name will be on the list of someone or a business or a company that helped to sponsor the purchasing of those book bags. And finally, I want to also say that when we were going to go out to tag, I know that there was a process to be able to tag on the street. You have to go through the police department and give them the dates and the times. We have experienced other people out there asking for money for various things. And I said, you know, it's not a problem, but did you guys get permission? It's like, no, we just want to tag for this or for that. I even had people from another area over here tagging for their softball team. I'm like, okay, I would never go to another area and tag for Sauk Village book bags, but if people are giving, that's fine. So I just want to, you can tell me later, not now, what is the process because of us not being able to have the vest. And because also it was just so hot, like 90 degrees, and we were advised not to be out there standing for 4 hours. Some of our block club captains are not as young as they used to be out there in that heat. So we're pushing those dates for tagging back, literally up to school starting back. Just FYI, if you see us out there, the residents are great and they're very generous. They're helping us make our quota every year. And I just wanted to thank them and thank the police department and all those that would be involved in making this a success again. And that concludes my report.
Okay, trustee, move to Budget, Finance, and Community Relations Committee. Trustee Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Community Outreach Partnership Committee met tonight. We did discuss National Night Out as well as the 60th anniversary that is coming up next year. I know the village clerk did state, but just as a reminder, National Night Out will be next Tuesday from 5 to 9. We will be selling walking tacos like we have in the past, and that is a fundraising effort for the 60th anniversary. Also, as I stated a couple, 3 or 4 weeks ago, I think now, that the board was invited to participate in a Chopped-esque type competition, and no one has come forward that they would like to participate. If somebody was, I would like to know if you could just contact me, let me know after the board meeting if you would like to participate. If no one on the board is going to participate, then I want to make sure that we can the committee won't have to go forward, but if we can get at least 2 other people besides myself, so a total of 3 people to participate in this, then we have to let the committee have time to go out and prepare the hopefully not so hard baskets to participate in the Chopped competition. And again, what that would be is members of this board being able to participate, kind of going against each other. For anybody who hasn't seen the show Chopped, you would be presented, the participants would be presented a basket full of food items that don't normally go together, and they would be required to make a meal. And then out of that, each contestant would, people would be either, you'd have judges, people would be able to come up and vote, and then every vote would be, we haven't come up with a price yet because we don't have solidified participants, but like 10 cents a vote, let's say, and it would be a 50-50 situation. The winner who got the most votes would be able to keep the funds, or if they so choose, graciously turn them over to the efforts for the 60th anniversary committee, which is where the other 50% of that would go towards. So again, for anybody, any board members who would like to participate, if you could let me know after the meeting so that I can address the committee to go out and buy the items, that would be great. And as far as the 60th anniversary committee, just as a reminder, the mayor did ask the public relations committee to take that on. I don't know that I've said this in public. I transferred that to the Community Outreach Partnership Committee because there's more people in there. So the actual 60th anniversary committee will be the Community Outreach Partnership Committee. However, we are still looking for volunteers for the subcommittees. We talked about the subcommittees before. We talked fundraising, events, entertainment, marketing, publishing, that kind of thing. We are still looking for other volunteers because we would like to have those subcommittees filled. The village clerk did step up to do the fundraising committee portion of it. So anybody who would like to be a part of the fundraising committee, please contact her. And then we are, at this point in time, everything else is running through the Community Outreach Partnership, but we would like some more volunteers. So if you would like to volunteer, please let me know, and that's all I have.
Trustee, when is the date for the making of?
It would be during National Night Out.
That's next week.
Yeah. If we get enough participants, I have full faith that my committee can come up with the needed amount of baskets, but I accept your challenge.
Is there something we need a grill for?
Well, I'm going to tell you this. Be prepared, because we won't know what the things are, so what I would suggest is if you have some sort of like electric skillet, I think you should bring that. If you had something, there are grills out there, or maybe you'd like to bring your own grill, because if you're a grill master, that might be something you want to do. If you're somebody who likes to boil things, I don't know what I love, maybe an convection oven, those are small, maybe you want to bring that out. I have no idea, because at this point, it hasn't been determined whether it's going to be an entree, an appetizer, or a dessert. We will not know until we are presented the basket and they tell us, make a dessert out of this, make an entree out of this. But right now, we just need people.
So I guess the last question is, do we have to do it ourselves, or can we?
Yes. No, there is no delegation. It is a board responsibility, so you cannot delegate.
I'll take your challenge.
Okay. Okay, so we have three. Anybody else, let me know after the board meeting, and I can let people, but we all know that we do have three. So start thinking, and again, don't make it too hard, please.
Yes, let's make it edible, too.
Well, that's what I said. Try to make something that somebody's gonna wanna eat. Not the weird stuff
Yeah,
together.
don't remind me of China right now. Just kind of
Right,
give me something
let's
to
keep
think.
it.
All right? And before we go to the next, I just wish the board will give me the opportunity. I just noticed that Kenneth Locke came in from Keith came in from the Bloom Township Food Pantry. Would you like to share with the residents a little about the pantry real quick?
Can you give him a microphone? Would you mind?
Good evening, everyone. Excuse me for my flip-flop. I'm just coming to be observer. However, Bloom Township, we have just recently opened our new food pantry. Bloom Township, Sauk Village is a full member of Bloom Township, so every resident of Sauk Village is a member of Township. And to qualify for the food pantry, all you need is an ID and a current utility bill that matches the address on your ID. The food pantry has been super duper upgraded. We just spent $750,000 over the last 6 months to rebuild a facility to turn it into a food pantry. And you no longer just get beans and canned food. Now you get, what day we was at the barbecue? Yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hot as it was yesterday. We was at the barbecue yesterday. And so now the food pantry, yesterday they got steaks and chicken and fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, potatoes. They was walking out of there with some people had 4 or 5 bags. So it's a really good food pantry. It's sponsored by the Chicago Food Depository. And for all those who know residents of Sauk Village who have family and friends or other residents who have food needs, please send them out to Bloom Township, 425 South Halsted. Those days are Monday, 3 to 7:30, and Wednesday, 10 to 2. Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming out and sharing. And then we'll get you to get another alert out. And also make sure it's on the website. So apologize for missing the big day, but we appreciate what you're doing for the South Summers, for Bloom Township. Thank you very much. All right, now we'll move to new business. Item A, motion to approve all accounts payable and disbursements for June 15, 2016 through June 28, 2016, according to Sauk Village policy. Third time submittal for approval. Is there a motion to approve? Got a motion, is there a second? Got a motion and a second. Any questions or comments?
Question.
Trustee.
Who put down that third time submitted for approval? What was the reason for that?
This is the third time for the board.
I know that. I'm saying, what was the reason?
So that you knew which one you were approving.
The date let us know what that was.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, vote please call roll.
Burgess.
No?
Jones.
No.
Myers.
Yes.
Tate.
No.
Washington.
Yes.
Williams. Yes. Mr. Mayor.
Yes. Motion carries. Item B, motion to approve all accounts payable and disbursements for June 29th through July 26, 2016, according to Sauk Village policies. Or a motion to approve.
So moved.
Got a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions or comments?
Question.
Trustee Jones.
The general fund for Parks and Recreation, the Parks and Grounds, as far as the asbestos sampling analysis for $5,580. Where is I asked for, as we don't have any finance here, so I directed to Fairman. Since we're paying this out, so that means that we we have a contract to start moving on with this, or what?
Yeah, next step is. We're gonna have run through the budget committee and then, get approved by the board, then we do it, unless somebody wants to pass that process up.
So this is, we're gonna start on this.
Yes, I mean, that's what we got, but the process is that we gotta get to the budget committee, the budget committee can read it and approve it, they get approved by the board, if not.
So is there, invoice for this?
For which one?
As far as the payment for the $5,580?
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to have a copy.
Mr. Mayor.
Trustee?
On the same, trustee, Dillon has a question. On page 4, the general fund police department, says that the TRF Environmental Corporation has special staffing for 270, and then underneath it says Cook County Department of Environmental Special Staffing Agency. Good question. One, so Cook County did come out here and looked at it and gave us an opinion and amount to get it moved. Is that what I'm reading?
Well, I'm going to tell you that the board directed Robinson Engineering to move forward on both locations. So Robinson Engineering has been working with all the proper agencies to make sure that we've done the testing. So when you've got the asbestos sampling analysis, again, that's who the invoices for through Cook County.
So why couldn't all of them, I know they're in different departments, but one of them on Parks and Recs is over $5,000, and the other one is not quite there, very close, but why couldn't they, if the Cook County was already out here on the police department, why couldn't they take a walk another 150 some odd feet and check out the asbestos problem we have it at the center? I mean, kill two birds with one stone. Or that been an additional. Anyway, as long as they've both been done and we get a report on it, I have no problem on it.
In fact, do me a favor, we get a hold of Jim Zarnick tomorrow morning, and ask him to forward that report over, and then give it to the village clerk, and send it out to the board. But again, this is something that they're moving kind of, I guess you can say a little bit quicker than the other things, because the board has made such a big deal about it, and, when you're dealing with mold, asbestos, things like that, there's just steps you have to take. You've got to do your analysis, you have to have sampling, you have to get special permitting if they find it, so.
I have one more question.
Okay.
A few weeks back, the village administrator announced to us, I believe it was in just a regular meeting we had, that there was a negotiation with the Skyline, or not Skyline, Republic, whoever's doing everything. Is this the price that we're paying out to them? Is this the outcome of that?
Which page are
On the general for the payout for the Skyline,
Can you give me a page number? Look at the top right hand corner.
I just wonder if that's the final thing that Republic supposedly going to charge us, that amount, are we going to be paying on that amount to be old?
Those amounts are for June and for May.
Oh, okay, so that's not their answer to their renegotiation then?
No, that's correct. Those are for May, June payments. Any questions or comments?
Yes.
Trustee?
Page 1, middle of the page, where it says Minuteman Press business cards. What is this? Is that for? Who or what person did order business cards?
We can find out. I mean, business cards go over all the time. If I come out with business cards, I think I do something.
So no one knows who ordered those. Okay. Page 3, police department, reimbursement for gas. Did the officer have to actually pay for gas for his, for the village vehicle? My question would be,
He was, it was our Canaan officer.
no, I'm saying if he didn't bring his wallet or credit card or cash, would he have been out of gas? I mean, I'm looking at,
He would have been out of gas. He would have been on the side of the road.
that's management, okay. Also, maybe you can answer that, I don't know, maybe Mr. Fairman, I added up 3 different payouts for federal signal reconditioned siren. Did they give us each department paid $2,300. Each department came out of fire as and police. Was that for a reconditioned siren over $6,900, or was it to replace the siren that we have? And if it is, I think we have 2 sirens. Is it replace both of them or one of them?
If I replace it, it's a reconditioning of those sirens, right? Checking the batteries and.
It's a reconditioning of the siren. I don't know if it's took 494, but 3, it's across 394.
Yeah, 394, you've got.
So this was a TIF expense?
That is where, as I understand, and I can get more specific, that is where I understand the device is.
Okay, no, there's 2. There's another one on 223rd Street. But I'm asking, is it to replace the sirens? Now you said there's one in TIF. Last time we did take it out of the TIF expense. This time it's coming out of each one of those budgets, a line item from each department. So I'm just wondering, is that the case, especially over there where WinPack is at, right there in the middle? That's, last time it was taken out of TIF money. This time I see it's coming out of the budgets of the department head.
If you got TIF, you can use it where the one siren is in TIF.
Right.
We have 2 or 3 other sirens that are not within TIFs.
Okay, does anyone know? I know where 2. Where's another siren?
Got the one on Sauk Trail. At the water department.
Okay, that's one on Sauk Trail.
Then you got the one on 223rd.
Yes,
and
by Brookville,
area.
right. And
You
then
got the one over in the TIF.
okay,
Did we ever put one out there by Nate? I can't remember. We did one out there by Lincoln Meadows. I can't remember. I know there was talk about that one.
okay, because the reason I'm asking, last time we did pay for the one by WinPack, so you're saying the 2 were taken out of the budgets of the 3 different departments. Is that correct?
I understand it's pretty expensive to buy a new one that was just a reconditioning.
Correct, right, but I'm just saying, that money replaced what we had. It's not for just batteries, I'm trying to say, because I know batteries don't cost that much, so was it for it was for a reconditioned siren, probably just 2?
I'd have to say, as I understand reconditioning, I'll get the number, I think it's 1, but it may be 2. I will get that number.
Okay, page 4. In the top of the page, police department tuition fee. Is that for what is that for? Is that for the new officer or?
Yes, it is. It's for the new officer and the new officer had to go to Chicago Police Academy, so that's 1 fee. Then the other officer had to do an 80-hour refresher class down in Southern Illinois, which was mandatory. He had previously paid on his own prior to coming to the department for his certification through the Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Board. So there's a 2-week class that he has to go to be updated and certified.
Okay. Back to page 1, where it's titled Professional Services, and there's 2 lawyers there. It said a partial, I guess it was a partial paid invoice for the top one for $2,600. What did we pay? It says partial, but is this what we still owe, or this is what we paid, and how much do we still owe?
What page are you on?
Page 1.
Okay.
Under the lawyer, I cannot pronounce his name, Kravik, but it's under general funds, under professional services. And it has $2,600 and it has PR behind it, which means it's a partial paid invoice. What is the balance of that, or are we paying, is this the balance of what was the original amount?
This is, as I understand, professional services. We will have two attorneys that they may be conflicts. They represent different employees in the lawsuit. If this is ongoing, I'd have to check on and see if that's ongoing.
So we don't know if did this pay him out, because right below that has another fee from the same lawyer for $720. So that's what I'm asking, is the $2,600 a payment and we still owe something? And if so, what do we owe and what is the $720 under the same law firm? Is that for something entirely different or is it for the same thing?
I think what we're identifying here, I talked to Mr. Mohan about it, is one covers the period ending 1/17/2013, and the other one covers the period 4/10/2014. So that's what the two fees are about. Reference, if this court case is over, your question, I'd have to find out if there's any other fees related to it.
Okay, so we still, basically what you're saying, we still may owe them.
So I know what I'm saying is I basically don't know. The case is closed.
All right.
And the village is self-insured for the first $50,000.
And my last question, and we discussed this years and years ago about car washes. We have, we need to establish, and we talked about this before, a community or something that we can, instead of sending these kids to jail or whatever, we should have some type of community service if they're caught walking in the street. And some of those things that we go to community service could be the washing of these cars, not only just the police department, but fire or whatever, for community service for someone rather than try to give them a record. I would like to go on record that we try to establish something like that, and I have no problem with talking with the fire, police, and basically the police department, because they're the ones that, are actually out there and they give the teenagers and young adults citations. I would like to see if we can establish a pool, and quite naturally, if they don't honor that, then we move forward with conviction. But a pool that we can have them do some things in the village under a community service contract, much like what the city does, Chicago does, and some of these other surrounding communities do the same thing. And I would like to see something like that done, and whatever we have to do, and I'm talking to the chiefs, or the other chief is not here, but talking to them and the village manager, that we can set up some type of program, rather than always, for misdemeanor type citations. And that quite naturally, if someone's convicted of murder, they can't go and come to this, but something that we can do to establish a community service ongoing. Yes, it's going to take somebody as a police officer or as a person in the fire department to oversee that. But I would like to see us start something like that so we can have an alternative rather than just always trying to prosecute our youth.
Trustee, you'd like to comment on that? When I was in charge of it for almost 16 years here in town, what I did, I approached at that time when I was the chief judge in Markham, and there was several of us sitting to a smaller class, and then he said we had to sign off and monitor the kids and would be fully responsible for whoever, but that way what you get yourself into is that you're going to have the county court system sending people over to you. You're going to have our education system sending students over to us that walk in the street, let's say walk in the street. It could take a lot of work, but it does not have to be a police officer. It does not have to be, it just has to be a full-time employee of this village to monitor the community service. And then he has to turn in a full report. And at that time, we had to give a report to the chief judge of Markham. However, I know that the chief probably could check into a lot stronger than I could, but be something, I agree with you, yes, we do need it. And I'm 100% behind it to move it on.
Right, because we're hiring now part-timers that could do things like that. Part-time police officers, that'd be a great thing for them to do. Because there's certain things they cannot do out there on the streets. So I'm just looking at, we're doing all this hiring of part-timers or whatever. These are some of the things that we should look to, to help out. Everyone makes mistakes, but I'm just hoping that we can, come up with something. Yes, it takes work to do it. Yes, it is work involved. But we have to give an alternative rather than trying to lock everybody up. But we're talking about finances, so those are some of the questions that I asked Mohan some of them yesterday, and some of these I didn't get a chance to go through because I was talking about something else, so that's why I asked you, Mr. Fairman, because I needed to find out, have some clarity on some of these things that were discussed. But I still would like to know, as far as the money coming out of each department for the sirens, you said reconditioned. That means reconditioned means either they replaced it where they used one, or they went inside of it and replaced the parts and kept the original one. And I just wanted to know that before we go forward, because I don't want to come back next week or whatever and it went out, or we have to purchase a brand new one for whatever reason.
All right. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, we got a motion and a second. Will the clerk please call roll?
Jones?
No.
Myers?
Yes.
Tate?
No.
Washington?
Yes.
Williams? Yes. Burgess?
No.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes. Motion carries. We got item C, motion to approve special meeting minutes for June 28th, 2016. Is there a motion to approve? Motion, is there a second?
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, will the clerk please call roll?
Myers? Tate? Washington?
Yes.
Williams? Yes. Burgess?
No.
No.
Myers? Yeah, you said yes. Is that like that section? So the majority or how many did you vote?
Present state, present state, present.
So motion.
Abstain is goes with the
Right.
So
majority.
we're gonna ask Mr. Mayor to also vote.
Mayor votes yes.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item D, motion to approve board meeting minutes for June 28, 2016. Is there a motion to approve? We got a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, will the clerk please call roll?
Tate? Williams?
Yes.
Washington?
Yes.
Burgess?
No.
Jones?
No.
Myers?
Mayor votes yes. Motion carries. Item number 9, miscellaneous comments from the mayor and the board of trustees. So at this time, we'll start from this end. Trustee Burgess.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. I do have, now, this is something that I do have, and I'm just asking. I received some emails and also comments about a birthday congratulations from several residents that are here asking me, what is that? I told them I never seen it. I didn't get one personally, but quite a few of them. I'm just wondering, first of all, where did we get that money from? Because if everyone is getting a birthday greeting on letterhead and stamped in our stamp machine, that's roughly 48 cents times how many thousand of residents that get that. Where was that money? We always talk about the budget. Where did that come from? Because as long as I've been a trustee, we've never done that. Not saying that, it shouldn't be, but if we're telling everyone we don't have money, we're borrowing from Peter to pay Paul, but we have money to do this, and it was told to the Sauk Talk committee that we didn't have money to mail out Sauk Talk, but now we have money for birthday greetings, and it's signed by you, Mayor. It's not signed by the board, it's birthday greetings. And also, if there is a list, has to be a list for someone sending that out, I want a copy of the list of people that are going to be receiving and have received the letter that's on village letterhead, that's stamped by the village stamp. Because I don't know if anyone moves into the village, they give their birthday. I didn't know that was a requirement. So where are we getting, and I say we because that's part of my money too, getting this list so we can send this out. So I request a copy of whatever this list is, and as I stated before, where did we get this money from, and who on this board okay to spend this kind of money each and every month?
Anything else?
Yes, I need an answer.
Take your comments. Anything?
Pardon me? I'm asking you, Mayor, you're here. I mean, I don't need to, as someone stated, we don't have to have an executive session. This is a question, this is village money. And if you give it out to 2,000 people, that's $1,000. But I'm sure it's more than 2,000 residents in the village. And the second part is, where did this list emanate from? And I want a copy of this list. That but yep is not an answer, Mayor.
Interesting, I don't have to answer that right now. So,
Right now,
do you have anything else?
I want an answer, Mayor. It's not, where did you get the list? You can't answer where you got the list?
Anything else, trustee? Thank you for your comments.
Now you wonder why I ask these questions and wonder why we do these things. This is the people's money. This is their money. We sit back and say it's cost initiative. We're not having these meetings because it's cost initiative. We're not doing this because we're trying to save money. But now we're putting this out here, and it looks very, very political. Because why are you sending birthday greetings in a town where you tell the people we don't have money to fix your street, we don't have money to replace your fire hydrant right now, we don't have money to do a lot of things, but I will send you a 50-cent card or letter stating happy birthday. That's a nice gesture. Can we afford that with all these other cuts that we're talking about doing? So then you're telling me right here, and I want to see this on the not the agenda, but when you do the note, Madam Clerk, that the mayor refuses to answer a question dealing with the residents' money.
Trustee Worship.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to remind everybody that we are collecting donations for book bags, and that concludes my report.
Okay. Trustee Jones.
I have nothing.
Trustee Tate.
I didn't know about the birthday greeting. Is that a normal practice?
Since I've been trustee, trustees are here that's been here. Some, as long as I have, Ruth Williams, the mayor has, I have been here. I've never seen birthday greetings sent out by any mayor. Not saying back in the 1970s, I don't know. But since I've been trustee here in 2006, I've never seen greetings sent out to the residents.
Mr. Mayor, was June the only month that residents received letters?
Any other questions?
I think residents should be concerned when your money's being spent. And I'm going to call this electioneering. That's all it is. It's an election year next year, and now we're going to send out letters with your money, taxpayers, for stationery, envelopes, and postage. Now, if you send out 100 of those every month, 12 months of the year, do the math. I just think it's ridiculous that your money's being spent to send out letters telling someone happy birthday. Call them on the telephone. Be a little cheaper. A couple of weeks ago, I received an email from Clerk Williams that someone helped draft that's attempted to shame and embarrass the trustees for not voting on approving an accounts payable. And you notice tonight I did not vote on it. There's no one here to answer your questions about accounts payable. So I will not vote to spend your money if I don't know how it's been spent. Now in her letter she says how appalling it was that trustees did not do what they had to do to approve all these bills, and the police are without gas for their cars, and the fire department's without gas, and it goes on and it rambles. Now understand this. In this email, it's all for trustees. Let me back up a minute. At first, I did not take it personal. It's an in-house thing, and she felt she had to send an email out. I got a copy of the document in Dunkin' Donuts. Now, that be, I didn't say you knew. Oh, okay, good. Okay. So not only is it not in-house to embarrass trustees, now whoever went to Dunkin' Donuts has a copy of it if they wanted it, to talk about that. Now that's ridiculous. Now, in this email, it did not say that some trustees left the meeting before it ended. It did not say the mayor dismissed the directors of the departments from the meeting before it ended. It did not say the mayor himself left the meeting before it ended. But the trustees that were banned stayed here, and voted on paying payroll and liabilities for our employees. We saw they got paid. But we did not vote on the other junk that was in accounts payable that he dismissed everyone so we could not get answers. And as you see tonight, there are no directors here to answer questions. None. Now the village administrator is doing his best to answer as much as he can. And I don't blame him for not knowing everything about everything. But why aren't your directors here to answer your questions on accounts payable? I will not vote to spend your money unless I have answers to questions I have about how it's been spent. Now, if it's not being spent properly, then let them spend it. They have enough votes on this board. They don't need my one vote. They have enough to approve anything they want to approve. But for the village clerk to take the time and effort to send out an email trying to embarrass trustees, number one, that is not a village clerk's job.
There you go.
That is outside her job description. And I don't care, you look at state statute or village ordinance. It does not state the village clerk has a right to try to defame I'm sorry, Trustee Williams. I was going to say she has no children on this board. But I am not one of her child. I am not going to just stand by and let her run her mouth about how poor we are, how appalling we are. And I will talk to you anytime you get ready to and address your issues. Now, I came up here today, twice today, and I had a question. I indicated we're working on this document, revising it for the village. I came up here today to ask one of the directors a question about it. What happened? Another employee was overhearing the conversation, called the village administrator and reported that I was here asking questions. Well, I'll be damned. Are we in prison that we cannot ask questions about what's going on in Sauk Village? And I hope the village administrator reported it to the mayor. And I hope you guys enjoy it. This is for the benefit of the village. I wasn't asking her to steal money or misappropriate funds. I was asking for information about the village and what we should do for the village. And all the snitches have to run and call everybody and say, guess what? Trustee Tate is up here asking questions. Damn right.
That's right.
And I'm going to do it. So, Mr. Mayor, don't answer any questions for me. I don't need any answer because every day you show the exact type of person that you are. And I appreciate it. I really do. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee. Trustee Myers.
Just a short comment on Trustee Tate and on what I was going to say. That's our job. We are to, the residents ask us questions, that's our job. We go out and investigate, find out what's going on, regardless if we have to police, fire, public works, wherever, that's our job. You have to talk to the residents and find out. That's what we're up here for. Residents ask us a question, ask us to check into, which I have something in a couple of seconds, I will ask police chief, other residents that call me. But let's get to what I was going to say earlier. It's been a while since the parade, but I have all the trophies. I have one issue yet, and the person's been out of town, and we'll get to that. The category is decorated cars, clothes, walkers, and special. I'll just read off the first place, second, third place in each category, and then at the end. First place, and they're mixed up here, so. First place is Prairie House. Another first place was the Mustang that drove Miss USA. The School District 168, and the Saukville Animal Medical Center. Second place is Saukville Bible Church. That's what they had. Sets Enterprise. That's the company's on Cottage Grove. Mary Young and his antique car he had there. And Digger football team, they came out and rode. And then third place and was the Girl Scouts. Marcus Trucking, that's a trucking company over there on the south side of town. I brought that big truck in. And I love the crew. But and at Saukville Daycare, I was fortunate enough to witness them receiving their trophy. And I can't explain it. It was happy jumping around and Kevin gave it to you can't explain it. It was just good. And then Little Fire Department received a special award out. I will type all this up, have it on the back there, so I'll give it to the newspaper or talk to her and she sits in a copy over it, so you guys can get it. And now my question to the police chief. Last night, approximately 12:30 or 1 o'clock in the morning, I know it's kind of odd for us old people up there that late. Let my dog out, saw kind of shots, and next thing I know, I kind of heard some racket on the scanner and stuff. Didn't pay too much attention. The resident called me this morning and said, Trustee Myers, could you find out what went down in my block? And it was Clyde in 222nd place. There was a shooting, and now I do not know if it's true. That's the reason I'm asking you. Was there a victim that did not make it, or was it a shot? Could you explain that? It was not an investigation.
There was a victim of a shooting at 2200 on Clyde, and it's an ongoing investigation. That's all I can tell you right now.
Thank you, sir. That's all I have, sir.
Trustee Williams.
A question and a comment. As far as the department heads not being here, is that a permanent thing? Is that something you're going to discuss, or is that just for tonight? That's my question. My comment is to talk about the accounts payable. My question was, and I don't have this question because the finance director is not here, but we talked about our canine officer having to be reimbursed for gas because he had to pay for gas out of his own pocket. And I wonder if that was a result of not paying the accounts payable. Because I know that we had to go back and forth and discuss and get phone calls and emails from the finance director because accounts payable wasn't paid, then we had a situation where we ran out of gas. And we had to go and we had to say, can we please, can we get some more gas? So I'm gonna follow up with Director Rao about that to see if that's what this situation was. But again, as we saw on the agenda today, this is the third time that this accounts payable has been submitted. Now yes, the first time it was here, I was the first person to walk out of the room because I couldn't deal with the craziness anymore. I choose not to be a part of my activity, so I walked out. I don't know what happened after that, but I do know accounts payable was not passed. The week after that, there was a special meeting to pass accounts payable. It again did not pass. So that this is the third time that it was presented. My question is, accounts payable, is it not being passed because there are questions? Or is it not being passed because we don't want it to be passed? Because I guess my follow-up question to that would be, is if we have questions about accounts payable, and the dates for accounts payable are June 15th to June 28th, if we had questions about that accounts payable, could we not have gone to the finance director and said, I have a question about this line item, this, whatever, and it doesn't necessarily have to be at a board meeting. It's something that could have happened through an email, through a phone call, drop a letter off here, some kind of way. And we all have access to this building 24 hours a day. There could have been communication. So I guess my question is, and I don't need a big long discussion from the trustees. I just, as a director, or I'm sorry, as a chair of the Budget and Finance Committee, I want to know, how can I rectify this situation? If you're asking questions to the finance director and he's not getting back to you, let me know. Let me be that conduit, because my concern is, you don't need to get me. My concern is that the fact that one document has to keep getting represented, and there should be no reason for it. So I guess I'm just, how can we fix this problem? We will be having a Budget and Finance Committee meeting on Friday. I know Mr. Fairman said that he wanted that something has to be approved for the asbestos for the community center. So we will be covering that. But if this is something that needs to be added to the topics that we're going to discuss, I would like to do that in enough time to change the agenda to make that happen. Because I don't understand what the problem is. I've suggested maybe accounts payable being emailed to the board. So even if they don't come get their packets, because the packets aren't officially done until Sunday. So maybe if they got the email on Friday, maybe that could be helpful. I don't know. I just would like the board to, if you have answers to my question now, great. If not, if you want to take time to think about it, if you could email me before Friday so I can bring it up to the committee to discuss it, because I really don't understand why we're not able to pass accounts payable, why we're not able to pay bills. If we have the money, I think that it should be something that should be paid per policy. So if I can help, this is me asking for ways to help.
I didn't get an answer. I asked questions on a couple of days, and even today on about this one, this accounts payable, and I didn't get an answer.
Can you email me the questions that you have?
Oh yeah, it was about the asbestos, and
I know that question from
Right.
today. Did you have other questions about the other accounts payable?
I have to look back on that one.
Okay, if you could,
Right.
if you could email me, and maybe that's the answer. If everybody wants to email me, I have no problem reaching out to the board. I have no problem meeting with Mohan and figuring it out. And maybe I could email you guys the answers to your questions, because I'm not working, I'm at home with a kid. So I mean, Azim and I will sit there and talk to Mohan, and we will get the answers for you if that's what it takes. But there's too much confusion, there's too much going back and forth. And I'd like to get the bills paid if we have the money. So if you could look back and think if you have any questions and contact me, I have no problem sitting down.
That's a good suggestion, but wouldn't it be just lovely if we could just get the answer from who we asking the question to?
I completely agree.
That's all I'm saying. I mean, that is great, but it would be nice to have an open and transparent environment where we could get answers without someone being scared or in the corner, thinking someone's going to do something to them. That would help. So, I mean, me having confidence in that's going to help that situation out, I doubt it. Until we get rid of the trash, that's not going to change.
Well, I will discuss that at the meeting too, and see if there's a better way that Director Rao would prefer. I don't know if that needs to be a written form of communication, if he needs questions by email, so he can have something to refer back to. I will definitely talk with the committee about that, but I do agree. I think that all the trustees should have the ability to go in and get their questions asked and answered before accounts payable is passed.
Trustee Williams, I went to Director Mohan and asked him specifically about the gas. That's an ongoing bill. You know you have to pay for the fuel each and every month, whenever it comes. It should never come down to the point where we have to have a special, not meeting, but to find out if we can pay this. It was not on the last accounts payable because on the 28th, because he was told not to put it on there and to do other things. He's being directed 5 different ways. Because my question for him is, we know that the vehicles need fuel. For an officer to have to come in and take it out of his pocket so he can go and do his job is not acceptable. That's kicked all the way up to the top. Someone is telling him not to pay. I would like to find out why you're finding out who's in charge of monitoring the gasoline tank over at Public Works. when they see that tank is down below a third of a tank, there should be somewhere someone telling someone, we have to fill this tank. Not waiting until it's empty. An officer can't even go over there and get 2 gallons or 5 gallons and make his shift out. He has to put in his pocket, go out there and pay for that gas and then get reimbursed later. That's piss poor management. We should know ahead of time how much is in there, just like you do in your car. You don't, when you see that E come on, that's not enough. When you see that light come on, it means you need gas. Not next week. So you have to manage that. But when I bring it to this discussion or talk to him, and trustee Chase is right. You gotta close the door, you gotta talk low, and as soon as I leave out there talking to him, he's grilled. What did he just say? What did he want? What did he come up there for? So when we come in, we're marked as trustees. Whoever you talk to, they go right and have what he said. I mean, really, that doesn't even make sense. I'm a trustee. I'm supposed to ask questions. I'm not asking them for to borrow a dollar. I'm trying to find out what we're doing. But you can't ask because he's scared to talk. It's not his fault because he's grilled. He wants to keep his job. But to be grilled once I leave out and go somewhere and you get 15 people, you get people to come right behind him. Even one was told to write down exactly what that trustee told you. So they could put it on paper. Really? You've been a trustee as long as I have. When has that ever happened? I've never seen that. Even when we had the last administration, it wasn't that bad. You come to work and get grilled because, or you're told not to pay this bill. If you're told not to pay it, fine, tell me, but we can't pay it because of so-and-so. But now I got to read lips. I got to put on a hearing aid just to see what somebody's saying. The door's closed, the whatever, and he still whispers because they're getting grilled. He don't know if his office is bugged or not. So I'm just, it's not nothing that you can do as your committee unless you can tell somebody to quit asking them questions. It starts at the top. The top is going to delegate what you can and cannot do. And if the top doesn't answer questions, then the board brings it to him. What you expect this man to do is work here.
Where is the money?
In the shit water. All right, let's see here. I remember the chief announced it, but this Saturday is the golf outing for the Sauk Village Firefighters Association. So I don't remember if he said something about that. So if you haven't got your tickets yet, or if you want to be a part of the golf outing, I think that's this Saturday. So, I've heard a lot of talk, and I've sat here and listened. First of all, department heads aren't grilled. Trustees, I let you all sit there and talk and say stuff that's not true. You are lying.
Let him talk.
He
let you ramble.
I did let them ramble. So, I'm going to, just so the residents know, accounts payable, we had accounts payable for a few months there. And trustees still voted no for accounts payables that have gone all the way back in about the early June timeframe. So, trustees have the opportunity to go get answers. So, again, it's the trustees' responsibility to have those answers before they come up here. It's not a time that you're supposed to be using this up here for your soapbox and try to make people look bad and make false statements that are unproven and are lies. So, if you just, to say that someone is being drilled, I mean, if anyone's not answering you or they're talking quietly because they might be scared of you because you're bullying them. It's the trustees' responsibility to do their job and to come up here and vote no for something and try to make an excuse. All it is an excuse that they're not doing their job.
Yep.
All right? The question came up about the department heads. Tonight, department heads, there's only a few when it comes to emergency services are here. That's what we'll continue doing. We have trustees. It gets kind of redundant. Trustee has parks or has public works. He should know what's going on in public works. He should be working with that department head. Just like finance, I look for trustee Williams, we work closely with Mohan, and, you know, they should be coming to these meetings, giving the reports, what's happening within these departments. They have these departments, and I would look for, you know, if there's any questions, I think that trustee Williams has already stuck up to the plate. It says she's willing to work on answers, but again, when it comes to an accounts payable, it should be going to the finance committee. Finance committee should be able to come in here and be ready to answer any questions that any trustees have, working with the finance director. So, the other thing too is when it comes to our contractual, when you have engineers and attorneys, you know, they come here, we're paying them to sit here for hours and hours. There's no reason for them to come unless they have something to report on. So that's what we're going to be looking at going forward. We'll contact everyone every week before we put out especially these regular board meetings, find out who's got reports and who's got stuff to report on. But we'll continue to make sure we have our safety here when it comes to police, fire, and homeland security. So, all right, with that said, ask for a motion to adjourn. We got a motion, is there a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Jesus.